You want to be a foster parent. What are the minimum qualifications? In this episode, we're going to talk all about that. My name is Brian Woodruff. I'm a foster and adoptive parent. I'm the creator of fostercareaction.com. I'm an author of the book, You Think You Want to Be a Foster Parent. So you want to be a foster parent, but you don't know what the minimum qualifications are. Well, that's great. We're going to talk about that today. Let me start off by saying there is no way for me to tell you what exactly the minimum qualifications are because every single state across this country have different qualifications. Now, I'm going to give you the generals today, but understand every state may tweak this a little bit. So I'm sorry, but that's the best I can do unless I did 52 of these because every state has something that's just slightly different. So we'll start with age. Most states require you to be 21 years old. Again, not always, but most states. A lot of people ask me, do you have to be married? No, you can be single. You can live with someone. A lot of people ask about your sexual orientation, and that, again, does not matter. You can be gay, you can be straight. Those things do not matter to be a foster parent. Now, I do need to say that if you are living with somebody, and that's fine, both of you will have to get licensed, not one or the other, but both. So understand, if you're married, you both have to get licensed, but even if you have a live-in boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, both of you will have to get licensed to do this process. You do not have to be a parent. A lot of people ask me, so do I have to be a parent? You can be a foster parent without ever being a parent. There's plenty of training involved to make sure that you will be successful at this. So again, you can be a parent, you don't have to be a parent. Background. So again, you're going to have to go through a federal, state, and local background check along with getting fingerprinted. Every state's differently. Typically, misdemeanors are okay. Felonies are looked at based on what they are. Not saying that if you have a felony that you can't be a licensed foster parent. Just understand that there are some felonies that are looked at more than others, and so it's a matter of how long has it been. DUIs are another one of those. Just because you had a DUI or a DWI doesn't mean that you can't be a licensed foster parent, but there will have to be some time that has passed. And again, what is that time? That really falls on states. I know the state that I'm in, I believe it's 3 years before you can become a foster parent after receiving a DUI. If you have a car, you have to have a valid driver's license and insurance. But again, a lot of people think you have to have a vehicle. You do not have to have a vehicle. What you do have to have is a reliable source of transportation. That could be a bus, that could be train, that could be Uber. There are a lot of reliable sources of transportation, and as long as you have a reliable source of transportation, that's all you need. Your home. So you have to have a home. A home can be an apartment, it can be a condo, it can be a townhouse, it can be a single family residence, it can be in a high-rise. So a home is just a dwelling or a place that you reside. You will have to have a bed for that child. You will have to have a bedroom for that child. The child does not have to have its own bedroom, but you do have to have a bedroom. There are all sorts of rules around when opposite sex can still stay in a room together and so on, how many children can be in a room based on the square footage and so on. So I do a complete video on your home. I suggest that you watch that video. It'll talk about all the requirements of your home. I will tell you that you do have to have a legal bedroom, meaning you can't just go up in your attic and throw a little drywall in there and call it a bedroom, or you can't go in your basement and just build a couple walls and build a bedroom. It has to meet all of the criteria of being a bedroom, and your home will go through a safety audit, and more than likely you'll have to make some minor adjustments to your home, but again, it's typically not anything major. Minimum qualifications to become a foster parent financially is basically it's pretty simple. Can you pay your bills? Can you pay your current bills? And they're going to look at your finances, they're going to look at your bills, and they're going to determine, can you pay your current bills? Can you pay your rent or your mortgage or your lease? Can you pay your car payment? Can you pay your insurance? Can you pay your gas, utilities? Can you buy food for yourself now? Are you paying your credit cards? So on and so forth. Credit score does come into play. I wish I could tell you what the minimum credit score is. I don't know. And again, if I did know, it would change state by state. But again, as long as you can pay your bills, you're good to go. Training, you'll have to go through currently 36 hours worth of training. Many states are talking about reducing that to 24 hours worth of training. And again, it's in-person training. So, with COVID, it's been virtual, but many states are forcing it back to in-person. I will tell you, I've done the training both ways, and in person you will receive a lot more because the training is very interactive. You work in small groups and a lot of activities, and that's very helpful. Then there's a home study process, and so this is where they're going to review all of that information, and so that's what it takes to become a foster parent. So you go through this whole process, and if you meet all of these things, you're able to be a foster parent. The one thing I do want to say is that if you're thinking about being a foster parent, I think that is absolutely awesome. It's a wonderful thing. But I want you to know going into this that this isn't easy. This will be probably one of the hardest things you've ever done. It will also be probably one of the most rewarding things that you've ever done in your life. But understand, it is going to be tough. And a lot of people go into this with they have their own children and they think this is going to be just like their own children. And I promise you, it's not. The thing to remember about children in foster care is almost none of them did anything wrong. Their caregiver did something wrong. And because their caregiver did something wrong, they are suffering a consequence for it. And so we as foster parents are going to make mistakes. That's a given. But what we need to do is we need to be the best we possibly can because somebody has already let them down. And so we don't want to be another person that's let them down. So please, if you decide to go into this, please take this very seriously. If you'd like to learn more about foster care, please subscribe. And there's plenty of videos on everything to do with foster care on this channel.